You may think you know everything there is to know about Haiti, but friends, I guarantee you, there's some things that you absolutely don't know about Haiti. And when you find these things out, which I'm going to tell you today, it's going to blow your mind and you're going to wonder why you didn't know these things. And it's going to cause you to have, I think, mad respect for the island nation of Haiti. So let's begin. The first thing that you don't know about Haiti that you should know about Haiti is that Haiti was at one point in time France's colony that it referred to as Saint-Domingue. Saint-Domingue. Now, Saint-Domingue was not just any colony, it was France's most profitable colony. At its apex, Saint-Domingue, which later became Haiti, produced 40% of the sugar that was used in Europe and 60% of the coffee. It made French slave plantation owners mad money. To extract this kind of profit and this kind of production out of the slaves, they treated them very brutally. They worked them harsh hours under harsh conditions, and a lot of times it resulted in the death of the slaves. That meant that they needed to import, to bring in like cargo, 800,000 slaves over the time period where slavery was being practiced. Now, as you might suspect, humanity kicks in. No people are going to allow themselves to be held in bondage and treated like cattle, treated like property for a perpetual amount of time. So these Africans, these people of African descent, were no different than any other people that have ever lived during the course of human history. They weren't going to have it. So what happened? In 1791, there was a revolution. That is to say that the Haitian people rose up militarily. They didn't petition France in the way that we saw the African nations in the 1900s and the 1960s make petitions and protests and things of that nature. They rose up militarily and they had a slave revolt, which was led by General Toussaint Louverture. That's Toussaint Louverture. He led very brilliantly a military warfare that consisted of guerrilla warfare. That is to say, they struck at strategic places and strategic times in the middle of the night. They fought them in the jungle. They fought them in places that they weren't prepared to fight. And France's troops got bogged down in the middle of the jungle, fighting enemies that they couldn't see, and also fighting mosquitoes. And many of the soldiers actually died from yellow fever. When it was all said and done, France and other Europeans lost 50,000 soldiers. So this war didn't just get solved overnight. It began in 1791. Haiti declared its independence in the year 1804. So we're talking about roughly 13 years from 1791 to 1804. You would think that was the beginning of things, right? That was the beginning of good times. Well, no. You see, what happened after that, in 1825, King Charles, who was the king of France at that time, sent a flotilla of ships off the coast of Haiti and demanded that the former slave owners and their descendants be paid reparations for having lost their plantations. You heard me. France demanded that the Haitian government and the Haitian people pay France $120 million francs, which I think at some point was reduced to 90 million francs, or they were going to come in with their army and their navy and blast them. So essentially, at gunpoint, they extracted reparations from the formerly enslaved people of Haiti. Now, of course, Haiti didn't have 90 million francs to pay. And the king of France knew that. He was trying to make a point. And so what happened was, to pay their first payment, they had to borrow money from the banks in France. That is how many of the banks in France got their start, by charging exorbitant fees and interest to Haiti on the service of that debt that was an unjust and unrighteous debt that should have never had to be paid. That is completely outrageous. They had to pay their former slave owners for freeing themselves. Imagine if America was required by Great Britain to pay Great Britain for the loss of North America. Look, folks, it took Haiti 122 years to pay off that debt. And in a word, when you look at Haiti today and you look at how it's struggling financially, politically, and economically, you can trace it all the way back to that. Keep in mind, again, that Haiti at one point was the most profitable colony that France had in its entire list of colonies around the world. In fact, some historians say that Saint-Domingue, or Haiti, was the most profitable, bar no other colonies, whether we're talking about British colonies or German colonies or Dutch colonies. This place had the ability to generate great wealth. But what happened after the decree that King Charles set down in 1825, the decree that King Charles set down in 1825, roughly 7 cents on every dime, or $7 on every $10, or $70 on every $100 was going to France to pay a debt that should not have been exacted in the first place. Now, again, let's talk about this debt. How can any nation create the necessary infrastructure, the roads, the buildings, the schools, the churches, all of the things that make up society? How could they do that when the overwhelming majority of the monies that they're generating from the sales of their products is being paid to a former slave owner? That's complete nonsense. We don't teach that in world history. We don't teach that in American history. But that's where this problem that you see on the news today, take a look at all of this chaos that you see right now on the screen. It began back there, 122 years to pay the debt off.